What's your name?
My name is Joseph.
What is something you're currently struggling with?
So a few days ago, my hard drive crashed. My MacBook can't recognize my external hard drive anymore. So all the videos, all the files that I recorded and have edited just disappeared. And to recover that, it's about $3,000, and I don't have the money to do it right now, so I can't recover that file. So that's what I'm struggling with. I want to say that I'm sorry to all the people that I interviewed. In the future, I'll make sure that I get those videos and I'll post them. What's your name?
I'm Hannah.
What are you struggling in life right now?
One thing I keep doing is I keep double booking myself. Today, actually, I had a therapy appointment, right? And I completely forgot about it because she already double booked me, so it's only 15 minutes instead of an hour. Someone invited me to their house to watch Jeopardy at the co-op, and I've never been to this co-op before. And I didn't know where anything was, and I get a call from her, and she's like, oh, we have an appointment today, did you remember? And I had to go hide in the bathroom at the co-op, and then the girl ended up having a class right after, and so I came back and was like, oh, sorry, and she's like, okay, well, we have to go.
Do you have anything to say to your therapist?
Please schedule me for real.
My name's Mina. Recently, just been struggling with the future. So I'm graduating this semester, and it's just kind of a lot of decisions that I have to make that are very stressful. Do I want to go home? Do I want to move out? What kind of job do I want post-graduation? What do I want to do? And it's just kind of too much to think about. So this whole week I've just been dreading graduation, but it's okay, we'll get through it.
What are you studying now?
Computer science.
Do you want to keep doing computer science?
Yeah, right now I think I'm going to stick with it and then hopefully kind of move towards project management maybe later in the future. So then I don't have to code all the time anymore.
My name's Angelique. It sounds so terrible to say this, but as a young adult, I sometimes struggle to make my own decisions. I was raised with my parents kind of making them for me. Now that I'm here, everyone's asking me what do you want to do and who do you want to be and all that. Those decisions are entirely up to me. So I still struggle looking for someone to give me the answer and then actually having to know when I want what I want.
What do you want to do these days?
You're getting so specific. Yeah, I want the specific. Go home for Thanksgiving, obviously. I want to eat. I miss my parents' food. And go to parties, I guess, when I'm up here. Woot woot. Root woot.
My name is Jericho. I am struggling with the pressure of becoming an adult and having to decide what I want to do with my life after college at the moment.
What do you want to do after college?
I don't know. I feel like I have to go to grad school, and that's something that's necessary for my career. But when I came to college, that was not my plan at all. I'm also struggling with feeling like I'm smart enough or good enough to do that, which is a whole other thing.
What are you studying right now?
I'm studying BCN, so biopsychology, cognition, and neuroscience.
For grad school, what do you want to do?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? I know for a fact I don't want to go to med school, but that's the problem is that everybody in my major is going to med school.
So you currently don't know what you want to do after you graduate?
I would like to work in the mental health field at some capacity, but I don't know what that looks like for me yet. But I also want to do fun things. I would like to have a podcast or write a book or something like that. So that appeals to me more. That's the other problem. I had a lot of problems today.
My name's Addison, and I'm just struggling in bio and getting all the work done.
What part of bio is hard?
It's not hard, it's just a lot of work and a lot to balance with my other classes and keep up on everything.
What are you working on right now?
I'm working on an essay for my comp lit class.
What are you writing about?
It's actually about my parents' divorce. We have to write about something that we've never been told the full story about, and then we have to make up a story about it, so that should be interesting.
My name is Kelly, and something I'm struggling with is having that concept of home. I just signed a lease, and now when I'm going back to my house, I'm going back to my house at home anymore, where my family is, I'm going to my house here. So that's a weird balance for me.
Why do you think that you're struggling with that?
I'm definitely very sentimental. I also have a younger sister, so it's weird that she's living her whole life that I'm not a part of at all, which is sad.
My name is Grace, and I'm struggling with waking up every day for classes. A lot of the times I'll wake up and be half asleep and send emails to my professor saying I won't be able to make classes, and then go back to sleep and then forget that I did that.
What time do you wake up?
My classes are 10 a.m., so they're not horrible, but I just have a really bad sleep schedule.
My name is Ashni, and I'm struggling with finding my backpack because someone stole it from Mason Hall.
When?
It was last Monday night. It's a navy blue Patagonia, if anyone's seen it.
I'm Neve, and right now I'd say staying warm in the weather. It's so cold right now.
If you can move to a different state, where would you go?
Like Texas, like somewhere warm, like never cold.
My name's Eliana Darty, and I think one of my things I'm struggling in life right now is managing my long distance relationship on top of all my workload.
Why do you think it's hard?
It's definitely hard because you have to like schedule things out and always have your calendar ready, and that's very difficult for me.
How often do you guys text or call?
We text all the time, but call probably like 2 times a day on average. He's a pledge, so that's why it's been very hard.
Do you have anything to say to your boyfriend?
I love you.
My name is Hadley Katzman, and I'm struggling with my injuries. I've fallen a lot this first semester, and I'm just trying to get back into it.
Why'd you fall?
Well, the first time I fell off a scooter, and the second time I broke my nose when I was dancing. I face planted.
When did this happen?
About 2 weeks ago now. Doesn't it look great? It was really bad. It looked like I got beaten up, but I didn't. I just fell.
Oh, it looks fine though.
Thank you.
My name is Sarah, and my biggest struggle in life right now is probably my social and academic balance. I would say Chem 210, which is organic chemistry, is kind of like kicking my butt right now. Exam 3 is coming up, and it's after Thanksgiving break, that Tuesday, which is really annoying, but I mean, it is what it is.
For social life, what do you usually do with friends?
I joined a lot of clubs this year, so my favorite club is probably Arabesque Dance Troupe. So we basically do like Arab dance, and each week I'm the choreographer with somebody actually that you interviewed. His name's Abbas.
My name is Abbas.
So we choreo each week, and it's really fun. It's probably like my favorite part of my week.
My name is Radhika, and I am just battling the whole fear of moving to a new city right after graduating, which is very soon, too soon, I feel, at times.
Where are you moving?
I'm moving to California. It's supposed to be a good place, but yes, the pre-move jitters are still there.
Why are you moving to California?
For work. I'll be joining the VLSI industry, if you've heard of it. More of the electronic hardware design, especially stuff that goes into mobile CPUs. That's basically my domain.
How did you get that job?
I did an internship here with one of the leading companies that do that. And then I applied left, right, and center, interviewed a bunch, then cracked those interviews. Yeah, that was it.
My name is Shubham, and I'm about to graduate, and I'll be shifting to a new city. So shifting to a new city comes with its own set of stressful challenges. That is one thing that is on my mind, which is getting stressful.
Which city are you moving to?
I'm moving to California in the Bay Area. I'll be starting a new job out there. I'll be a hardware developer. I'll basically be developing chips which go into those phones and laptops and hardware.
What company is it?
It's Google.
Are you excited?
Yes, I mean, I'm definitely excited because this is kind of an opportunity that I actually worked very hard for. Sailing through a master's degree in engineering was a very tough job, and at the end of it all, this was really a good culmination to everything.
How did you get that job?
I was actually an intern during the summer, and I started looking for a job towards the end of that internship, and I went through a lot of interviews, hours and hours of interviews. That is one thing. And apart from that, the University of Michigan's coursework was definitely another key player. So yeah.
So you did the summer internship in Google, and then you did extra interview with them, and then you got that job.
No, that wasn't the case. I was actually interning with Apple during the summer, and I did receive a return offer from them as well, but that offer wasn't exactly what I had hoped for in terms of work and pay, so I went looking outward. There were quite a few companies which I interviewed with, and then I ended up accepting Google's offer.
Tim Cook's the CEO of Apple, right?
Yes.
Do you have anything to say to Tim Cook?
The next time you get me, pay me more.
Is it okay if I ask you, how much did Google pay you more compared to Apple, like percentage-wise? Do you remember?
Probably around 20-25% more.
I'm Christine. I think right now the thing I'm struggling with the most is time management, because recently just got a new job and also trying to manage school and also like my sorority. So it's kind of hard to balance out all of those things at once.
How much do you work?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I was working like 15 hours a week, but then like I shrank it to like 5 hours a week.
How'd you manage your time doing 15 hours a week?
I didn't. I was failing all my exams and like not turning in assignments, so that's when I kind of knew that I needed to fix that.
Then what would be a good amount of time to work per week?
I think 5 to 8 hours is good for a college student who's working part-time.
My name's Isako, and I think I've been struggling in life to find a purpose. I've gone through different parts of my life doing specific things for a long period and focusing on one thing specifically. Personally, it was playing soccer. My whole life was basically just playing soccer, and then I had to basically change what I was doing to just focus primarily just on school now. So trying to reevaluate my life and what I want to do with it.
Why'd you change it?
Because it didn't really work out for me the way that I wanted to. I wanted to become like a professional soccer player, and I got pretty far, but I ended up just kind of switching paths because I didn't enjoy it really anymore.
For soccer, how do you get into a professional field?
It's very hard. Any professional sports player can tell you that the journey is more difficult than what it seems like on the outside. And there's a lot of things that go into it. A lot of knowing people, being good at what you do, and also just having some luck.
How would they recruit people?
So I played in Italy for the past 4 years. And the recruitment was more so you played at a different specific level. So people that were from Italy have been doing it for years since they were little. And so there's scouts that come in and watch people play. And then if the scouts likes them enough, they can take them under your wing. So I had a scout and a manager and an agent for myself. So he was able to help me find teams. And then I was able to be on a team for a bit.
Do you remember the management and the team that you were in?
I was on a team called Relocation, which is a team in the 3rd division in Italian soccer.
What are you studying now then?
Kinesiology. So you can kind of see where I'm going with all of it. Just sports, kines. I've always loved movement, trying to understand why some people are stronger than others, faster than others, mentally stronger, can react better. So I've always found that field quite interesting.
My name is Hannah, and I wouldn't say that I'm struggling so much right now as maybe about a year ago. I switched from being a pre-med major to wanting to do consulting, but there was a period of time where I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I think not having that forward motion and that lack of plan made me kind of feel like I didn't know who I was or what I was supposed to be doing with my life, and that was quite a struggle for sure.
So you started out as
a pre-med major.
And then you moved to?
I'm still a neuroscience major. I just want to go into consulting now. So kind of more business track.
If you want to get into consulting, do you have to be a business major or could you just apply for that job without having the business degree?
So I've been lucky enough to get far without a business degree. I think it's about how you present yourself and how you market your skills and abilities. So I turned a lot of my clinical experiences into discussing business opportunities, kind of how I learned different markets. So I worked as a pharmacy technician and I talked about how that taught me the pharmaceutical market rather than just working as a farm tech.
My name is Pablo Garcia Raiz. So I'm a student from Spain. I'm an exchange student. Something that is hard to deal with, or I'm struggling somewhat, is I'm a senior, so I'm trying to find a job here now in the US. And I study at Ross, right? And from talking to people from here, everyone at Ross already has like a job. They have a very good consulting job or a job in investment banking. They have found already through their internships in the past, or just by the fact of just being here, it gives you so many connections. So they already have a job. So I'm in a position where, as old as they are, I'm doing the same courses, but I don't have a job yet. And so I'm in the process, I'm doing many selection processes and interviews. And, that puts a lot of pressure in the sense that you feel like you're falling behind. And so that's something like I struggle with a bit.
What do you want to do after college?
I'm interested mostly in consulting or wealth management. So finding a job in a small firm that does either of those two things, I would be very satisfied.
Do you have a company in mind?
No, particularly. I'm doing an interview process on a firm called CIL Management in Chicago and another one called Sterling Associates. So those two are good possibilities.
My name is Sharon, and I am just struggling with the weather. I didn't think that seasonal depression was actually a thing. I thought it was just stuff that people said on Tumblr or something, but it's actually real. I hate this weather. I want to be in California right now.
My name's Nobai. I'm struggling with just about everything. Time management, lack of attendance at club meetings, wrestling practice, trying to figure out how to get that in. Bit of an identity crisis, really.
Where do you think you're wasting the most time?
It's a good question. At class. I feel like I could be getting other things done instead of just listening to people, like my professors all the time.
Which class do you least enjoy?
Econ 401 is the biggest waste of time in my entire life. It's just pure math. There's no econ in it.
Was that elective or is it required?
It's a required class for all PPE and econ majors.
My name is Misha, and I'd say I'm struggling with this winter weather right now. Last week it was like nice and sunny out, and like the snow today really took a big impact on me.
Where are you from?
I'm from Michigan, yeah, but I'll never get used to this weather.
If you can move to a different state, where would you go?
Maybe like one of the coasts, like Cali or like New York.
Why is that?
I don't know, I feel like it's a cool place to live. California's pretty warm. I mean, I know New York is cold, but I feel like it'd be fun to live there.
My name is Skylar. So we have 6 people in our house, and so it's kind of a struggle, like keeping it clean and managing chores and stuff.
How do you guys sort those out?
Originally, we had a little bit of a system, but it kind of just disappeared, and now we just...
It's just us like cleaning the house all the time.
Who takes out the trash?
Us.
Yeah.
Every Sunday night is when the trash things come, so we take it out.
Do you have anything to say to your housemates?
Clean up more. Put your dishes away.
But you like them though?
Yeah, we
Yes,
love them,
yes.
yeah.
My name is Taylor, and I would say I'm struggling just to find what makes me happy.
What do you do during your free time?
So I really don't have much free time. I kind of consume myself with like school and work, and so that takes up the majority of my time. So I don't really have time to figure out what makes me happy and sit back and enjoy life.
How many hours do you work?
I work 25 hours a week.
Do you think it's a good amount of work hours every week?
I wouldn't say that it's a good amount. It's just necessary because I have my phone bill to pay and I have other things to pay for, so it's necessary, what I have to do.
And what would be a good amount of work hours every week?
Maybe like 10 to 15, just a little less, so I can like relax a bit more.
My name is Jennifer, and something I'm struggling with is the dining hall food because it's really bad. So I'm spending all my money on food here, and it's a big struggle because now I have no money.
Where do you go eat?
I eat at East Quad Dining Hall, and it's really bad, so I actually don't go there anymore. I spend a lot of money at Beyond, Juicery, Panda Express, Chipotle. I also like One Bowl a lot. They have really good fried rice and crab ragoons.
Which dining hall do you think has the best food?
East Quad Dining Hall is the best dining hall. They all suck, but East Quad's is good. South Quad is way too overwhelming, and it's scary in there, so.
Why is it scary?
Because there's so many people and so many options that it's too hard. And the food's bad everywhere.
My name's Julia, and I'm struggling with my math class.
Which math class is it?
Calc 3. I don't understand anything.
Do you have anything to say to your professor?
I feel like I have a good professor, it's just hard.
Could you share your grade in that class?
I don't know my final grade right now, but probably C-.
What's your goal in that class?
A C.
My name is Maria, and I miss my family too much because I haven't seen them since August.
Where do you live?
Spain
Are you going to go back to Spain?
for Christmas.
Why'd you come all the way here?
I don't know, actually. I really regret coming here. I should have stayed in Spain for sure.
Whose idea was it?
It was mine, but my parents convinced me. Like, I was between Spain or here, and they told me to come here at least for 1 year, try, and then if I don't like it. But now I'm too scared to tell them that I don't like it. So I'm probably just going to stay here. They're not going to see this.
Leo, it's just Laplace transforms. You take a differential equation and you make it a linear equation and you do it with electrical circuits, and it's damn confusing.
Which class is this for?
EX215.
Are you successful in that class so far?
For now, but I don't know if that's going to continue.
Would you mind sharing your grade in that class?
Around a 90 for now.
Is that really good for engineers?
Yeah, but I think like they're grading it pretty easy so far.
Devin, and I don't know what I had, but I had like COVID or the flu or something like a week ago. And after that, just sort of like reestablishing habits of like getting back to work and trying to do stuff and just do basic homework, honestly. Because if you get used to doing nothing for like a week, then it's hard to get back.
Which class are you struggling the most?
probably material science 250 because the exams are not the most aligned with the individual slides, and there's a lot of like nitpicky stuff that you have to remember. It's a lot of memorization, and sometimes you blank on it and you're kind of screwed.
Is there something that you do to study for that class?
Honestly, I just panic. I don't really study.
My name is Joe Mayhew, and I'm struggling with consistency. Spending time with like God in the morning, like I'm a religious person. Also like giving myself why I do things so I can know why I'm doing things. So like when I don't have motivations, I can kind of stick to that. I feel like sometimes I don't get into that routine or stay consistent with things because I don't like keep the why close to me.
How do you find that purpose?
I believe my purpose comes from God. So like purpose, I feel like, is walking in relationship with God. The more I get to know him, the more I get to know myself. And like I find out the things I am driven to do, like the things that like are on my heart that I love doing. A part of that is people, like having relationships with people and doing track, and that kind of had me flow into like doing track at Michigan and then getting into the business school and then getting into marketing, stuff like that.
How long do you pray or have a QT with God every morning?
It can be as short as like a couple minutes, but I really try to like talk to him throughout the day. My life is just really like an ongoing conversation with God. I mean, it doesn't always necessarily have to be words, but it's like an acknowledgement, like acknowledging him.
What would be some advice that you could give to people who want to get closer to God?
It's going to sound simple, like reading the Bible. The Bible is God, like God is the Bible. Like it's a living word, you know? Every time I read the word of God, stuff jumps out at me. That stuff I try to pay attention to a lot, and I'm just trying to learn about who Jesus is. Don't look at people, because people will mess you up, but your faith is in Jesus. Like Jesus is perfect. God's perfect, you know? God's love, so.
What's your favorite verse?
I think it's Romans 5:2. I think it goes, we are here at a place of undeserved privilege because of the grace of God. We don't take the punishment, kind of explaining it too. And then we confidently look forward to sharing God's glory.
My name's Faith, and I think the thing I'm struggling with the most in life right now is trying to figure out how much time I want to spend to just being a person and doing what I want, because we only have one life, and when we die, we're gone. And how much time do I want to invest into being a better person, into my business, into my schoolwork? And I don't know the answer to that, and it's something that bothers me every day because I feel like I'm wasting my life regardless of whatever I'm working on.
When you say work, what kind of work are you referring to?
I'm referring to both schoolwork and a business that I own. I own a digital marketing agency.
How'd you get to start that?
I mean, I'm a Ross hole, but I kind of hate the finance consulting, like really stickler for having to do things exactly the way you're supposed to. I like the creativity. So I got into marketing and realized I had a knack for it and started using my contacts to like build up a list of clients. And now I feel kind of overwhelmed. I don't really know what to do about it.
If you're not doing work, what do you usually do?
So basic, either hanging out with my girlfriend or listening to music. I really like Drain Gang. I'm wearing Drain Gang merch right now. Their music's also very existential, so it doesn't help. I just feel like I'm still panicking after I listen to it.
My name is Nora, and I think just finding my purpose is what I'm struggling with.
What do you think your purpose is?
Be a musician, play music. I play classical violin.
What's your favorite piece on the violin?
I don't know. I don't think I found it yet.
What are you working on right now then?
I'm not working on a concerto right now. I'm just doing technique with my teacher.
What book are you using?
Kaiser and Subject.
What number are you working on?
3.
My name is Christina, and I'm currently struggling with getting all of my work done in this balance of also being able to sleep enough. And so it's kind of driving me a little bit insane. I definitely just want to lay in my bed all day instead of actually doing my homework.
How much sleep are you getting these days?
I'm getting at least 5 hours a night. Not horrible, but not the best. I do have classes every single day, and I do work 2 jobs.
How much do you want to sleep?
At least 13 hours. I know it's a lot, but I just want to have that sleep to where when you wake up, everything's fine. You just feel so rested.
Do you go to classes though?
I do, but I haven't been going the last 2 weeks because I have so much to do, and 2 of them are recorded, so I might not go, I might go, it depends, and if I want to wake up at 9 in the morning or if I want to sleep in until 10.
I am Matthew Villano. I am struggling mostly with trying to manage my time between studying for midterms and just doing stuff that I want to be doing.
Which class are you struggling the most?
Analytical chemistry, but right now I have to study for a midterm for Physics 140.
What's your grade right now?
I think somewhere in the low A range, but I gotta maintain it, I gotta keep it there.
What's your grade goal?
As long as I can actually get an A, keep the A, I'm pretty satisfied,
My name's Adi, and I'd say making sure that I'm a competitive pre-med student, but still making core memories in college.
What kind of memories do you want to make?
Just doing dumb things with friends and things that I can look back on and say, hey, I probably won't get the chance to do those again, but it was fun.
Do you think you're doing stuff like that right now?
I've been trying to more this semester, and I think so far, yeah. Last weekend, me and my friends just randomly decided to go to Chicago, so we drove up there, and my friend, he lives out around there, so we just messed around the city.
What's his name?
Josh.
Do you have anything to say to him?
Happy birthday, buddy.
My name is Mikey. So yesterday was my birthday. It was already coming in kind of bad because 2 days ago I was out shopping for food supplies for upcoming Asia's Got Spice event, and I lost my keys somewhere, probably at Huaxing Asian Market. And I bike to school every day. I don't really take the bus because I get to zip around. Right now it's locked up by the School of Ed building for my Chinese classes in the morning because I parked it there and I got out of class and I'm like, wait, where the fuck are my keys? So that was the first thing. So birthday morning, I don't have my bike, so I'm walking to places and stuff, and I take a bus to campus, and I'm rushing because I'm trying to make it to a lecture, a grad school lecture that I want to see because I had Chinese class the same time as like the Asian studies lectures. So I was treating myself by skipping class, and I took out my M card to swipe onto the bus, and I dropped my wallet, and it fell onto the floor, and the bus had my wallet for the rest of the day.
My name is Isha, and I would say not feeling guilty when I'm not working. I feel like there's always some work that you can do, but just taking time for yourself and like taking a break from work is something I'm struggling.
How much time do you think it will be okay to take without feeling that way?
I would say like an hour at most. I feel like you can get a decent amount done in an hour. So I think about like, what did I not get done? I'm in some clubs, so like I'll have some club things to do, or like I could apply for internships or something. There's always something that you can do.
Do you think you'll overcome that at some point?
Yes, because at one point you should just chill out and realize that it's really not that deep and you'll get your work done. And I feel like feeling guilty about not working is not really a sustainable attitude towards things. So I definitely want to change that, and I think it eventually will.
My name is Soam, and I'm struggling with just living in the present. Oftentimes I think back to my past of what I didn't do or what I could have done differently, and look to the future of, okay, how is this gonna all plan out? And sometimes it gets overwhelming, like in college, just looking at 4 years, seeing that 2 years I need to get an internship, and 3 years I need to get a job. I just kind of want to take it day by day and live in the present for me.
My name is Helen, and right now I'm struggling with balancing a lab I work at with my schoolwork.
How much do you work in a lab?
10 to 15 hours a week.
Do you think it's a good hours to work with school?
I think as a freshman first semester, it's definitely a lot on my plate, so I probably should have pulled back initially, but I'm working to try and find a way to balance it, but not quite there yet.
How many hours would be a good hours to work?
I think it definitely depends on work outside. Like for me, I have work outside of my lab that I have to complete, but I'd say like 5 to 10 range, because you want to emphasize, of course, your studies at Michigan, but also have time for a job or for a lab or for other work like that.
My name is Drew, and my biggest struggle is probably leaning into what makes me the happiest, whether that's my major or spending time with friends and stuff like that. But figuring out where I actually find joy and where I want to be career-wise is probably the biggest struggle for me right now.
What makes you happy? Do you know?
Definitely people. So I think that kind of answers the question for me. I want to do something where I can be around people, be surrounded with people. I mean, we're on this planet to be with other people, so I'd say people make me the happiest.
What do you like to do with people?
Just talk to them, I guess. I think a conversation can solve almost any problem, so.
My name is Jake, and my biggest struggle is balancing hockey, school, and my social life, specifically like how much time I want to allocate to each of those subjects.
How much hockey practice do you have every week?
We practice twice a week and then have 2 to 3 games on the weekends.
How many hours would that take up every week?
It takes up a lot because on the ice, it's probably only about like 5 to 8 hours a week, but sometimes we have to travel, you have to mentally prepare, eat right, you have to sleep right. So I'd say probably around like 18 to 20 hours a week.
So how are you doing in school with your hockey and everything?
I mean, if I just dedicated all my time to school, I'd probably be doing a little bit better, but then I wouldn't be as happy, and you definitely got to experience different things.
My name's Nathan, and I would say something I'm struggling in life right now is figuring out what my future's going to be after college, or what my job's going to be.
What do you want to do after college?
I'm not really sure. My major is pretty broad, so it could be anything from like something in government to like a private firm.
What's your major?
Urban technology.
What do you do in that major?
So it's basically like a combination of like the study of cities, architecture, and coding. So something I'm thinking about pursuing, it might be something in like the automotive industry with working on like sustainable driving. Or I could work at a firm and be like a sustainability consultant, because a lot of companies nowadays are very focused on becoming more sustainable for the future.
My name is Emily. Right now I'm really struggling with role strain between different things that I have to be in my life, like a student or like different friend groups. I don't know what kind of person I want to be, but I have friend groups who are very like fun and like a little bit irresponsible. They love to party, and like I've also got really responsible, maybe a little bit uptight friend groups, and just trying to be what I need to be for all of them while also making sure I'm not losing myself is proving to be difficult.
So you're basically saying, depending on where you are in the friend group, you try to change and kind of fit into the friend group?
It's not really a change. I feel like I'm fighting the urge to change myself for them, like a loss of identity a little bit, or trying to figure out what exactly that is, like as you change and grow as a person.
When you're hanging out with him, who do you think you are?
Well, this is actually our first time ever hanging out, so I have no idea. That's good so far, though.
One thing you like about him so far?
Oh my god. He's very open. I feel like we're both present and like being ourselves, and I like that. It's not forced.
My name's Sohi, and I'm having career troubles, I guess. I'm a junior right now, so I need to find an internship for the next summer and figure out what I want to do after I graduate.
What's your major right now?
Comp-sci, and I'm also a double major in cognitive science.
What do you want to do for your internship?
Make dough. I mean, probably like software engineering. I would really like to work at a startup, like a decently established startup. I enjoy the environment.
Do you have a startup in mind?
I do not. No.
My name is Osman Siddiqui. I'm currently struggling with balancing not only like my academics and then also like my social life. I'm a pre-grad student, so I'm studying for the MCAT right now. I'm working. I also have classes and all these different things. I feel like I'm losing like social connections and different friends that I like value. So finding that balance right now and allocating time to certain things and where it matters most is kind of what I'm struggling with the most.
How much time do you spend studying for MCAT every day?
I mean, it varies. So some days it'll be like 6 hours. Other days it'll be like 2 hours. It just depends on what I'm doing that day. Like, for example, if I have an exam in a couple of days, then I'll take it easier. But for the most part, I tend to study at least a few hours every day, since it's less than 2 months away from me in January. So,
do you have any advice for people who is also studying for MCAT?
My advice would be take your necessary breaks, because if you don't, it can lead to burnout really quickly with the amount of stuff you have to do for it, the amount of preparing, the amount of studying. So when you feel like you need a break, listen to your body, listen to your brain.
My name's Mad Jean, and I guess what I'm struggling in life right now is just trying to get through the next couple of days for Thanksgiving. I just feel like I have so much work. If I don't take a small break, I'm gonna have a breakdown soon.
What do you have coming up?
Just a lot of exams and stuff coming up, especially right after Thanksgiving break.
What exam is it?
PChem, so Chem 230, and a few papers.
Is that organic chemistry?
It's after organic chemistry.
What's after organic chemistry?
Physical chemistry, which is general chemistry 2 at U of M.
How are you doing in that class so far?
I'm not doing well.
Do you want to share your grade?
No.
Is it below B?
If I can bring up some parts of my grade, I'm hoping for around a B.
And what's the class average in that class?
I think a B or B+. I'm not sure. I think COVID brought it up, though.
My name is Isha, and I'm struggling with just having motivation to study, write my thesis, do homework, anything like that.
Is there something that you do to kind of get that motivation?
I take breaks, and then I kind of remind myself that I am almost done with it.
My name's Philip, and I think what I'm struggling in life right now is keeping in touch with my family. I think sometimes you kind of get caught up in school and your social life here, and it's just hard to ground yourself and make sure you reach out to the ones you love and keep up with them, make sure they know how you're doing, all that stuff. So I think that's something I definitely like to work on because I definitely sometimes struggle with that.
How often do you call or text your parents?
It depends. I definitely talk to my mom more. It's usually like maybe once a week. Not always once a week, but I try to keep it to once a week. But I definitely would like to increase the frequency of that and also probably reach out to my dad more a bit.
Do you have anything to say to your parents?
I love you guys and thanks for always being there for me and just raising me to be a great person.
My name's Emily and I'm just struggling with being happy with keeping my grades up. Just remember your grades don't define you.
What class are you struggling the most?
Biochem. Doing it right now. As you can see, this is a lot of red X's.
How are you doing in that class so far?
Well, not actually terrible, but I do need 52 out of 50 to get an A- in there on the last exam, so.
Would you mind sharing your grade?
Like an 83.
Is that good?
Not really.
I'm Amira. I'd say I'm struggling with just like finding myself, the people that I enjoy being around, and trying to balance all of that with my friends and my social life and all that kind of stuff.
How much do you hang out with friends every day?
I study with people a lot, and on the weekends I'll go out and stuff and see my friends, but sometimes it's hard with like balancing classes, and I feel bad when I like can't hang out with certain people just because stuff doesn't always align.
Do you hang out with these friends?
Yep, Emily's in my sorority, that's how I met her, and then Soraya's my twin sister. Yeah, identical twins. My name is Soraya, and I am currently struggling in organic chemistry.
How are you doing in that class so far?
I did very poorly on the first exam, but pretty well on the second exam. So I'm at a hard spot right now because I want to do really well on this next exam. So there's a lot of pressure.
What did you get on your first test?
I'm not going to talk about it. On the second test, I got a 90 out of 120. So not a 90%, but with the curve of B+. So that's good. First exam is embarrassing.
My name's Kevin, and I'm struggling to keep up with my relationships.
Relationship with who?
With my parents and my family.
Where's your parents?
My parents are back at home. I mean, they live in Michigan, but because of the distance between campus and my home, it's been harder to keep up with those relationships.
How often do you text or call your parents?
That's what I've been thinking about. I have not recently called my parents. It goes maybe a week, maybe even more without.
Do you have something to say to your parents?
사랑해요, which means I love you in Korean, and I miss you, and I hope that in the future I'll be able to develop more relationship with them.
My name is Ariel, and my biggest struggle in life right now is going into the adult world, the real adult world, because I'm a senior, so I'm going to be graduating in the spring, and I want to take a gap year, get a job, and then apply for grad school, and I'm quite worried that I won't like the direction I'm headed. I do like it right now, and I'm hopeful, but I feel like if I get into something and I don't like it, I'm locked into that, and if I don't like it, I'm not sure what my backup option would be. And I like having like a backup and whatnot. It's advice for you too. I'm kidding. So it's just daunting to graduate and not have that safety net of college and not have those college resources and be out on my own and have to make all my own decisions. So that's my biggest struggle right now.
What's your major right now?
My major is ecology, evolution, and biodiversity. It's the EEB major, and a minor in applied stats.
For grad school, are you going to do the same thing?
I'm thinking something similar. I like the idea of conservation, and I also like the idea of ecotoxicology, which has to do with pollution regulation and things like that. So I want to explore those options now and during my gap year. That's the plan.
What industry do you want to get a job in?
Well, that's a tough question. I think right now I'm looking at a bunch of government jobs. I feel like there's a lot of benefits. I feel like there is, again, like kind of a safety net associated with government jobs. So that's what I'm kind of looking at now.
Can you give some examples on what government job is?
Sure. So jobs like for NIH, I was looking at an internship there. It would be in the environmental health sector, I think. And also they have laboratory jobs, which would be nice for like a gap year.
So my name is Han, and this is like a minor struggle, but I'm like a senior, so I'm struggling being motivated. And like since I'm graduating and all of my friends are going to like other states, I'm just scared that I won't be able to make new friends in the future once I move to like the new state for my job. So I guess anxiety.
Which state are you moving to?
I'm moving to Missouri.
Why Missouri?
So among all the job offers that I received, I just picked the one that has like the most salary and the most benefits, and it's in Missouri. And I know the job market is hard right now, so like it's hard to get the best job offer in Michigan.
What's your major now?
Chemical engineering.
In life right now.
I'm John, and I'm like currently struggling with academics in general.
What class are you struggling the most?
I'm struggling the most with Orgo 2. That class is really hard, especially if you're like not a pre-med.
Then what are you?
I'm a microbiology student. I'm not in the pre-med track. I'm just doing it for like lab.
How are you doing in that class so far?
It's been pretty good compared to previous year because Orgo 1 was not really fun for me. But this year, after like learning and trying to practice over summer, it became better.
Would you mind sharing your grade for your Orgo 1?
That class I got like a C, but this year has been getting better.